Hello everyone, my name is Kyle Furman and I'm going to be presenting the musical life of George Frideric Handel. Throughout his time, he was a composer throughout the 1600s and 1700s, so we're going to learn a little bit about him today. So, relax and enjoy the show. So before we get into his major background, we're going to talk about his life and origins while growing up. So he was born on the date of February 23rd, 1685 in Handel, Brandenburg, Germany. Brandenburg is just a city in Germany. So he then died 74 years later around the date of April 14th, 1759 in London, England. Throughout his time, he's produced over 40 pieces of music that has inspired a lot of future composers like Beethoven, so he can then contribute to the whole life world of music and people around him as well. So throughout his life, he then got to move just around a little by northern Germany, and then he moved to London shortly afterwards to where he could work his way up to become a musician and then finally a composer after going to the University of Yale for about 4 years, as he was a law student there during the time in 1702. He then spent most of his life in law school and got to work with Arcangelo Corelli, Alessandro Scarlatti, and his son Domenico, as he got to move to Italy for another short period of time before he became a full-on composer to write many pieces throughout his career, as we will describe later on. So, with his contributions, he mainly played the violin for most of his time, and then he was a harpist chorus throughout that time in the opera orchestra before he got to then premiere in his first major opera in 1705, 3 years later. He mainly played classical music for most of his time, as well as operas, oratorios, and other wonderful instrumental pieces, as he also played a little bit of hip-hop, but we're not going to get really much into that. His famous piece that he is very much well known for is The Messiah, as we all know it today. It inspired a lot of future composers from this time on, and he has been for this period of time. And he was also influenced by his father, and through Arcangelo and Alessandro, like we see previously mentioned. So he was influenced by a lot of composers through the Baroque era during that time period. And then lastly, we have his famous works listed here, like The Messiah, Side of the Priest, Ronaldo, and many more. Like we said, he has produced over 40 pieces. So this is just a short list of the many pieces that he has done. A lot of them are in Spanish, so I can't really say a lot of them. But other than that, that is his presentation. Here's a picture of him and his the YouTube link to his famous piece. And that, my friends, is my presentation. I hope you got to learn a little bit more about Handel as I got to do myself. I found out that he was a very interesting composer and got to put a lot of effort into his music. So without further ado, I hope we get to see you in the next one, and I'll see you later.